Big warm welcome, everyone, to our sister Lisiane Messine. Thanks, sis.
Kia ora ana tātou katoto e te aroa tipaka o tētua, tōku ingo, ko Lisiane Messine. As Harmony has said earlier, her two vakas landed in New Zealand. According to our history, these vakas left from the Cook Islands to New Zealand. Therefore, we are connected. We are the motherland. I may be younger or older than you, but Harmony, I think I'm your auntie. Hands up to those who's been to the Cook Islands or visited the Cook Islands. Oh, okay. Well, please put that on your bucket list. It's a must. I do have one question for those that visited the Cook Islands. What makes the Cook Islands a beautiful place? I am her auntie. Any other takers? What makes the Cook Island a beautiful place? The sea. Of course, Dr. Meg is going to say that. Yes. The stunning blue lagoons, the beautiful white sand beaches, the colorful fishes swimming gracefully, the exciting experience of snorkeling around corals, swimming with the turtles and the whales. I feel like I'm trying to advocate for you people to go to the Cook Islands next time. All these are definitely beautiful. But to me and Harmony, what makes the Cook Island beautiful is the people. The warmth of the family, the strength of our communities, the care of parents and grandparents, and the vibrant spirit of our young people and children. It is this deep sense of connection and community that defines our islands. A warm Cook Islands greeting and kia ora to everyone here today. As introduced earlier, as I mentioned earlier, name is Lisiane. I hail from the beautiful island of Aitutaki in the Cook Islands, home to approximately 1,800 people. Aitutaki is one of the 15 islands that makes up the Cook Islands, which according to the latest United Nations estimates, the Cook Islands has a population of just over 13,000 people, which estimates around 16% of the population are our young people. So there is a decrease in the population of young people back in the Cook Islands when we look back to the stats from the 1990s. One of the reasons is that our young people are migrating overseas for employment, for education opportunities. Firstly, I extend a warm aroa and heartfelt thanks and meitaki atupaka to the organisers for hosting this event, and to all of you for your dedication to advancing this important cause. I would also like to offer a special acknowledgement to our mama, to Dr. Meg Perkin, for her ongoing support and her special affection to the Cook Islands. Ask Dr. Meg Perkin how many times she's been to the Cook Islands. She's definitely our mama. Today I am honoured to speak and share with you the perspective of the Cook Islands on youth justice, with a focus on the theme, prevention, not detention. To me, prevention, not detention is more than just a theme. It's more than just a theme. It's a belief that can truly transform lives. It's about going deeper and finding the core or the reasons as to why our young people are behaving such way. It's about communicating, as mentioned many times earlier. It's about listening. It's about building and working in partnership. It's about changing our mindset from punishing and incarcerating to truly loving and nurturing and supporting our young people. As Frederick Douglass wisely said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. So while the Cook Islands does not have a youth detention centre, I have to mention it. We do not have a youth detention centre in the Cook Islands. However, I recall back in 2018 when I started working for the Ministry of Corrective Services, after returning from New Zealand for further studies. I have seen cases where young people, young as 14, 15-year-olds, have been sentenced to prison. These individuals are believed to being exposed to challenging circumstances, such as environment of substance abuse, violence, the absence or separation from parents, unhealthy upbringings, and exposure to toxic peers and gang-related influences. And most of these young individuals were born and raised overseas. Currently, I work in an area where our service is dedicated to supporting and assisting vulnerable families and at-risk children and youth, with the guiding principle that the best interest of the child is very important. So in the Family Protection Services in Cook Islands, our goal is to address and reduce juvenile delinquency through various measures in accordance with the Family Protection Support Act 2017, the Prevention of the Juvenile Crimes Act 1968 that was amended in 2007, and the Cook Islands commitments to relevant international and national policies such as the Children's Policy and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Ultimately, the objective is to ensure that all children in the Cook Islands grow in a safe, nurturing, and loving environment, allowing them to reach their full potential. Some of the legislations I've mentioned earlier in the Cook Islands aligns in our work when dealing with young people at risk or young delinquents and vulnerable families. So in the Cook Islands Crimes Act 1969, it states that no person under the age of 10 years shall be convicted of an offence by reason to any acts done or omitted by them. For children between 10 and 14 years, no person shall be convicted of an offence by reason or any acts done or omitted by him when the age of 10 but under the age of 14 years old, unless they knew either that act was wrong or that it was contrary to the law. In the Prevention of the Juvenile Crimes Act 1968, it also highlights the role of families, communities, and key agencies. This encourages collaborative efforts to address and reduce juvenile crimes through preventative strategies and supportive measures rather than relying on detention as the primary response. So in Cook Island, under the Prevention of the Juvenile Crimes Act, we have a Juvenile Prevention Committees, or in another word, in an acronym, JCPC, that's been sleeping for some years, but now we're working very hard to get that up and running. And these committees, when you look at it in an adult setting court, we're trying to move our young delinquents from being exposed to an adult setting court to more a family group conference setting where representative from the community, it can be community leaders, from police, from relevant key stakeholders, from family members, and any supportive person for the young person to come in where we look at what the problem is or what was the offense and the reasons as to why the young person is committing such offense or such behavior, and ways that we can help this young person so that they don't fall back into the same behavior. So this is done before the problem escalates to a bigger problem. So this is one of the frameworks that Cook Island has in terms of preventing our young people from ending up into the detention or into the prison system. We also have a national commitment, which is called the Cook Islands National Youth Policy 2021-2026. So the name of the policy is Te Mana o Te Mapu, and this is a national youth policy. In English, the power of our youth as nation builders. This policy strives to build the confidence and competence in our young people and develop positive and creative attitude capable of serving and building our nation into prosperity. This is us giving all the power to our young people to run the country and become amazing leaders. So this policy serves under 5 priorities that were informed by young people through a survey and working group sector consultation. So you can see number 1, youth are accepted, respected, and connected. And I've heard this mentioned many, many times in previous presenters, talking about connecting our young people and accepting our young people and also respecting them when they're speaking and giving that opportunity for us to just sit there and listen to them tell their stories. Number 2, youth are proud of their culture, traditions, and identity. It is true, some of the young people that come across our service back in Cook Island that have been relocated from overseas, they've lost their culture, they've lost their identity. They say they're Cook Islanders, but they don't know their own family tree or their own whakapapa or their own roots. And because being in this type of system where the problem is not fixed, it's more an easy fix where you're just taken off the street for a while so that you can behave, and then once you're released back, you come out and you actually forget what you were supposed to do in life and who you are as a young person or what your identity is. So this is something that Cook Island is trying to build a foundation on with our young people to understand their own culture, their own tradition, and their own identity. Funny I say this because when we walked past the hallway this morning, everyone, oh, you look so beautiful. This is our identity. When everywhere we go and do conference, do presentation, we wear this because this represents us Cook Islanders. This is our identity. This is our identity. Our TAV dress are our identity. And the way we present ourselves also identify us as Cook Islanders. Youth are healthy and resilient. And in this particular priorities, looking at getting our young people into sports, into community programs, into church programs, and just encouraging our young people to be active so that they don't get bored, because most of the young people nowadays, they're stuck on technologies. Their eyes are stuck on technologies, and they learn a lot from technologies. I must say technology in some way is helpful for some of us, like Dr. Meg's been emailing everyone at 3 a.m. in the morning. That's her using technology wisely. But in another way, if we use technology in not a positive way, then technology is not a friendly thing for us. Number 4, youth are learning and developing. We need to encourage our young people to pursue further into their education, to develop more into their education. I've heard a lot of mention earlier regarding our young people to pursue and go further to become full potentials in their own life, giving our young people opportunities to learn who they are, because we have another person who's writing our story. But when you come out into this world, you don't come out of the, when you're born, you don't just come out and say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. You come out and the environment around you, it shapes who you are. So it starts with us in the home, it starts with us community, it starts with us society, and it starts with all of us here in this room to ensure that youth are learning and developing in their own full potential. Number 5, youth are environment action ready. So this one has just been recently added into this policy because as we know the climate change, there's a lot of issues with climate change happening, but we want our youth to become environment action, environment champion to help them in the future. Although our islands are small, the challenges and opportunities we face in youth justice are unique and offer valuable lessons. We recognize that our youth are significantly influenced and shaped by their environment, being exposed to any forms of abuse, losing a sense of belonging in society and purpose in life. That's why it is important to value family, community relationships, and as they play a key role in preventing young people from entering the justice system in the first place. Something I want to talk about from a cultural perspective. So in the Cook Islands, the practice for feeding children, known as tamariki angai, is deeply respected and acknowledged. This practice aligns with the African proverbs. It takes a village to raise a child. It involves children being raised by grandparents, by uncles, aunties, siblings, or close family friends. This approach is not seen as taking a child away from its natural parents, but as providing the child with the best nurturing love and upbringing to enforce their connection to their family. It reflects the belief that children are one of life's greatest gifts. As parents, family, and community, we have the opportunity to raise children with love and righteousness, equipping them with the tools and values needed to make good decisions in life. So we have young people at risk who come through our service where there's a lot of problems in the family, and for us to continue supporting them in a way is that we place them in the care of a family friend, in the care of a family member, where the nurturing, the support, the love continues. At the same time, we are supporting the family with the issues that's happening. So it's not about removing child completely away from their parents, but it's trying to fix the problem and making sure that at the end of the day, the child is reunited with their parents or with their family. As of today, we observe some positive outcomes from preventative programs in the Cook Islands. These initiatives, which involves youth and activities such as sports, church groups, and cultural dance, play an important role in diverting them from criminal behavior by connecting them with mentors and offering meaningful experiences. Of course, we have challenges. We are not just all butterflies. So in the Cook Island, some obvious challenges that we have: limited resources. Our geographic isolation and sometimes cultural barriers can hinder our efforts. I hear a lot about listening. I hear a lot about communication. But I remember growing up and having been told that when an elder is talking to you, you listen. So as a young person, when you're trying to talk to an elderly person, you won't feel like that the elderly person is listening to you. It's more the other way around. So that can be one of our cultural barriers that we face. But these challenges also present opportunities for creative solutions by forming partnerships with NGOs, as I heard mentioned earlier, seeking additional funding, we need money, and fostering greater community involvement. We can enhance our preventative measures by doing all these things, working together. So we're in the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we are trying to build bridges with other key stakeholders because what's been happening is that when a young person commits an offense, it's a police problem, or it's a home problem, it's a family problem. So what we're trying to do is building bridges between key stakeholders where, yes, police, yes, Ministry of Education, yes, Ministry of Health, yes, Ministry of Internal Affairs, yes, any other relevant NGOs to come together and work together and be able to help this young person. Before I close, I do want to share our highlights. So of this non-government organization that was established in 2017, made up of passionate Cook Islanders dedicated to preserving our culture, environment, and natural resources. The organization is called Te Kōrero o Te Orau, meaning knowledge of the sky, knowledge of the land, and knowledge of the sea. This program's also created a similar program within the organization called Atui Anga Ki Te Tango, which translates connecting to the foundation. This program supports school dropouts and young people from disadvantaged backgrounds or unhealthy home environments, helping them reconnect with their cultural roots, their community, and their families. It aims to foster a sense of belonging and cultural identity. Through their programs, young people learn about the environment, whether it's the ocean, the land, or the sky, and most importantly, about themselves. So I'll just play a video for...
Tūrau, ora mai ki runga te marae, o ngā tiuri tawa.
Kia ora ana, ngā tifuna te eo tuku ingoa e noa nā i rautanga.
Kia ora ana, tuku ingoa o tangata wuni noa tiu mai o.
E noa ana ki aitutaki. Noa ana ki te aro.
Mauki, atiu, maia, te aro. Mauki, aitutaki, rarotonga. Maia! Atiu, mauki, rarotonga.
Kia ora ana, o Justin ngā tokana tuku ingoa e noa nā ki te aro.
E moana e! E no, he wana ki tō rato.
Warero te programu I te haka eo me taki tōku mata I te au pāko nātura takapine I ako.
During this program, I've gotten the opportunity to do a lot of activities, to go into our lagoons, oceans, and our valleys. Ia nāre mātou titi ai te pō. Tuke ere te wanimara o ere o te taitāko ki te.
Because it's in our ocean.
There's a big eye tuna.
Commercial fishing.
And the youth, we want to give you guys
Kia mou te peo tupuna, te au mapu o te tātou kia kore taka kē no te tātou ki mua.
Thank you. In conclusion, let us remember that prevention is not only about avoiding detention, but about creating an environment where every young person can thrive. By working together, I must repeat, by working together, we need to work together, because I can't do it on my own. My ministry can't do it on their own. You can't do it on their own, but we can do it together. And connecting the strengths of our communities, we can make a lasting impact on youth justice. Mei taki atu paka.